Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video on VP Concepts. Today, we've got something that is a little bit unique and something that is my first time trying this. And I wanted to share it with you guys as soon as possible. I had Audiophile reach out to me and they asked if I would review a couple of their power cables, into like CD players and amps. And I told them thank you. It's a compliment that they would reach out to me through my channel, but that I'm loyal to Kimber Cable, as you guys know. I haven't been sponsored by them per se, but they're the products that I've grown to love and have in my system. I sold their products for years in 3 different stores, and I just like having Kimber Cable's interconnects and power cables, in my system. So they understood that and appreciated that. And so they wrote back and said, if there's anything else you would like to review, then let me know. And I told them that, hey, on my channel, it's a little bit unique. I don't review products in and out on my channel. I only cover things that I end up wanting to purchase or have in my system, that I've spent my money on and my time researching. And they said, well, if there's anything that, you want in our catalog, let me know. And as you guys know, I have the Dragonfly, the Audiophile Dragonfly Cobalt, and I really love that thing. And I've always wondered, is there something better? And I've looked on YouTube all over the place and really haven't had a good, high-end reviewer, whether it's an audiophile or someone who just is into the headphone realm. Not that there aren't audiophiles in the headphone realm, but what I'm talking about is like a large system or other kind of systems that have really taken that Dragonfly and their opinion held it neck and neck against another product. And I looked and I found a couple guys that talked a little bit about the Go Blu, but really didn't get into too many specifics. So what I said to them is, hey, look, I've got a Dragonfly Cobalt. I love it. I've never found a replacement. I really can't find any research on the internet that talks about it. I'd love to do an AB against it with your Go Blu. And I see you guys have a new stick out. What's the name of this thing? I literally just unboxed it, guys. It's the Go Bar. It's the Go Bar. Okay, and so this was a perfect opportunity for me to say, hey, look, I'll review these, but I may want to purchase them because if they're better than the Dragonfly, then I won't want to purchase them from you guys. So they said I could use them for 30 days, and if I want, I could purchase them, and they'll give me a price accommodation. They won't give them to me. This is, an unbiased review that I'm gonna be very hard on these things because I've had 2 years with the Cobalt and I'm very familiar with it, the Dragonfly. And so, I want to see feature-wise, functionality-wise, aesthetic-wise, size-wise, how it compares, because people always want to knock the Dragonfly Cobalt, but I haven't found anything that's beat it. As far as an all-in-one form factor, looks, performance, I haven't found anything out there that I wanted to replace, except for these two. These have always got my curiosity. Now, they sent me a case too. This is a case for this, so don't worry about that. I just wanted to have it out there with everything that they sent me. So we're gonna look at the Go Blu, the Go Bar, and really A/B this against the Cobalt. That's really what I wanted to get this in for, because if it is better, I'm gonna buy it. So with that, we are going to unbox these together. Let's unbox them. Let's see what's in here, because I am curious myself. So let's do the Go Blu first. Now, one thing I've liked about other reviewers that have checked this out is they always talk about the aesthetics, and I am a big aesthetic guy. I like the looks of a component, especially if I'm going to spend the money on it. High-end dollars. I want it to look as good as it sounds. And this little guy always attracted me. Oh my God. So I had no freaking idea, based on the reviews that I've seen on YouTube, that it was this small. This is freaking ridiculous. I wish I had something in perspective to compare it against. Here's my eyeglasses. I mean, this thing is literally like smaller than a matchbox. It's gorgeous too. I mean, in person, it's so much nicer than on the videos. It's got like a copper dial, really nice click feel to the volume button. Now this isn't an analog volume control, which I really wish it was, and a lot of reviewers have said that, but I can look past that. But I cannot believe the size of this thing. You know what? Let me pull out my Dragonfly for comparison. I wasn't going to take that out until later, but I've got to see the size of this thing. It's been a minute since I got to do an unboxing with you guys. I love this stuff. So would you look at that? I mean, obviously the Dragonfly is smaller, but this thing is a Bluetooth player. And this would not be a problem at all having in my pocket. I thought it was double this size. So, and seeing it in person, I'm so glad I got this in, because I thought the size would be a factor in me not wanting it, and that's not the case. So I hope you guys can see that clearly. But really, it's just a matter of, you know, this is thinner. Obviously, it's thinner. But other than that, they're the same height. Matter of fact, the Dragonfly is a little bit taller. I wish it was a little bit taller. I wish it was a baller, right? So, yeah, man, that's really, let me see what else comes with this thing, if there's anything else. Probably I would expect a cord or something like that. Now, again, this is Bluetooth, but let's see what else comes with it. Damn, this is fun. Oh, a little pouch. So if you don't want the case, it comes with a pouch. And then this is a USB, what is that, A and C? Probably for charging, I would assume. Yes, this must go into the charger, and this would go into here to charge it. Yeah, so this is the charger. Okay, so that's really all that comes in the box, is this little guy. And so there are some directions, thank goodness, because I'm going to need it, because this is out of my wheelhouse, guys. You know that. I'm not too much into mobile audio except for my Tidal and my 7 hertz timeless. But yeah, this is going to give me the directions to sync up the Bluetooth and all that. So that is that guy. That was fun, and I learned something today. See, that's why it's fun doing this and getting to share it with you guys. I had no idea it was that small of a device, and that makes me really impressed. Good start so far. So let's look at this Go bar. Now the first, I almost didn't get this, guys, because there's a disclaimer on the website or whatnot that says that this thing may not work when the iPhone's at 30% or lower. So, you know, that may not be a problem for someone who's charged up every time they go out. And I'm sure that it lasts hours and hours. But at the same time is, damn, I wish that would work all the way to the end. Why would it stop? I'm just digging through the box and seeing everything I can get out. Okay, so this isn't bad looking. I'm gonna put on my glasses for this one. So here it is, the Go bar. And it's not bad looking at all. I really like the fact that aesthetically they put a little time into it. And it kind of has like a beveled front here, like kind of like a emerald, you know, emerald cut or whatever. So it's very, very attractive, and it's almost got like a greenish black to it. So it's not just plain black, and I think that's cool too. And size wise, it is bigger than both of these. It's bigger than both of them. Interesting. So if you were to go like this, hopefully you guys can see that, right? It's actually, I take it back, size-wise, if you were to actually, this has edged out. So height-wise, this is the tallest one, then the Dragonfly, then the Go Blu. As far as thickness, it's almost the exact same thickness as the Go Blu. So the Dragonfly wins there in thickness. Again, in portability, this wins. This is the smallest, the tiniest, the most convenient. If you're gonna have it hanging off a dongle, this is the one to have. This one is quite a bit beefier. And the fact that this runs all the way to 0%, this runs to only 30%, we'll have to see. But really what it's gonna come down for me is sound, right? I mean, everything comes down to sound. I don't mind making sure my phone's charged up when I go out for a walk for a couple hours, and it may not even hit 30%, even at half a charge, right? But you got to keep that. Do have to keep that in mind. You don't want it to stop working when you're out somewhere. But if this sounds better, that's going to be the game changer for me, because it's not that much bigger in size where I would need to worry about it not, not fitting in my pocket. So it looks like you've got. Let me read this, man. This is real tiny font, and even with my glasses on. Oh, it's got a switch for 4.4 or 3.5. And it's called Audiophile match. It's got your power button and then on a volume up and down buttons. So this you can control the volume, master volume from the device. This you can control the volume from the device. This one you do not. You use your phone volume. So I always thought having another volume control would reduce the sound, but I could be mistaken. And then it looks like this little guy also, the Go bar here, comes with really nice cords. Those are not just your typical cheap ass cords. So this is obviously a charger, and thank goodness, man, look at this. We have got the lightning adapter to the USB. I'll have to figure out why I would need that. Maybe that's if you're not going to go... oh, I know why. Because this is not Bluetooth. So you have to have it into your Lightning. But that, I'll tell you, that is impressive as hell. That is a nice cable, and I'm all about cable upgrades. But that's a nice cable, even if just aesthetically with the cloth around it, than your typical rubber cord that you would get, like with the Go Blu, the charger. You know, looking like this. Just your black rubber. This actually is very nicely thought out. Has a very nice connection. You can hear it snick in. And wow, on the back here, guys, again, I wish my lighting wasn't so crazy. It's raining. It's been raining since yesterday. We didn't have rain for 2 months. And it starts raining this morning like cats and dogs finally. I love the rain. But right when I'm filming, and my light is like half in here today. So hopefully the video comes out okay. But as I'm looking at this, it looks like we've got the frequency. Let me see, hold on, guys. Yeah, it's got your 44, 24, 192. It's got, looks like it might even have XBass in here, which Audiophile is known for, and MQA. But they're little dots, they're little lights on the back. So when we actually play this, if I can somehow show it playing, I got to figure out how to do that. If it's plugged into the phone, I can't record it. But I may find some B-roll or something I can find in here to show that on. But yeah, it looks like it's going to light up on the back, which is cool. Because again, it's nice to show what sample rate you're in, and if there's MQA going on, the Dragonfly obviously lights up the Dragonfly to show what sample rate it's in, which is kind of sexy. But we're going to give this a try. So far, I'm impressed with the size of both of these. And it's really going to come down to the sound quality in Bluetooth mode with the iPhone. And this sounding better than my Dragonfly, okay? So that's it, guys. That was fun. Again, I told you, I don't do anything real professional or fancy or special screenshots or camera angles. I just sit down with you in the house, and we go through goodies that we get in that I can share with you. So I will be back with listening impressions after I give these things a couple weeks of burn-in and see if they best my Dragonfly Cobalt. All right, talk to you soon. Okay, guys, we are back, and I had some extensive listening time with these 3 devices, and there's a lot of good, a little bad, but overall it was very educational for me getting these in. Again, I wanted to hear if something could best my Dragonfly Cobalt, which has been my go-to for 2 years. And if something beat it, I wanted it. And this was the perfect opportunity for me to work with Audiophile in getting these products in so I could do this comparison and share it with you guys. And I want to give a shout out, by the way, to Ricardo at Audiophile. He set this up for me. He reached out. The guy's amazing. He handles a lot of the social media for the company and the sales in Latin America as well, Spanish speaking. Super cool guy. It doesn't matter if it was 10 o'clock at night and I had a question about this, he answered it. spoke on the phone with me. One of the best reps I've ever dealt with. So shout out to Audiophile and how they treated me during this process. So thank you, Audiophile. Now, you guys got to be going crazy curious here like I was, because the Dragonfly, to me, was always the winner as far as portability, the size of it, right? And I love the Dragonfly on it. It's one of my favorite things, how it lights up with the different sample rates. It's just so cool. And I like that it worked with the iPhone, you know, except you had to carry this bad boy around, or the smaller version. This version sounds better, by the way. Don't use the smaller lightning adapter, use this one. The sound is way more open and more powerful and more headroom and everything else. But, you know, the downside to this, guys, besides that giant lightning cable connector, is that this, you know, you have to have it hooked up and it draws power off the phone. And, you know, it's not that much power, it's not that big of a deal, but you are tethered to your iPhone when you use this. And this is not multiplexing. So, you know, what it does is when you get a call, you have to unplug it, because you can't talk through this. Not even using your headphones and using your hands-free on your iPhone or whatever device you have, because it's not multiplexing. It only goes one way. So if I get a call and I'm walking out in the park, I have to take this out, put it in my pocket, take the headphones out, answer the call, walk around with my headset, you know, my handset in my hand. It's a compromise we all make for high audio quality, but you know, I just was so curious to what else was out there. Also, it's a little underpowered. Now, again, it wasn't probably back 2-3 years ago when this came out, but it is now. So these are obviously two newer devices. And guys, I really took the time. I just kind of gave you the whistle stop unboxing with these, but I really took the time to find out the features on the Go Bar. And I'm just gonna say that hands down, this one sounded best out of everything. This bested everything. And this is $330. It's the same price as the Dragonfly, to the best of my knowledge right now. So yes, it bested everything, but there's one huge caveat here, huge. At the time of my reviewing this, and this is a fairly new item, but at the time of reviewing this, I could not get this to sync with my iPhone unless the battery was at 75%. Anything below that, this wouldn't come on. I couldn't get the 44.1 indicator to come on the back. So I wasn't able to use this the whole time, because you get caught out. Your battery's not always charged to almost full. Now, I think this is the exception. I'm not sure if this is with all iPhones. I've got the 13 Pro Max, which is very new. They do mention again in the directions that anything that's iPhone 6 or older, you know, at 30% battery, you'll probably have a hard time, but I was at you know, 65% when I first tried this and I couldn't get it to come on. But at 75%, it fired right up. It sounded unbelievably good after 24 hours. I had to give it some burn-in time. After even 24 hours, it astounded me. This thing has got so much power, so much richness, detail, texture, weight. It's mind-blowing. It made the Dragonfly sound two-dimensional and just like old kit, okay? And I love my Dragonfly, right? I mean, you guys know I've had this thing for 2 years. I talk about it. I love it. But it's really been replaced for the same price point by this. Now, this is a little bit heavier and it's bigger, but it still hooks up the same way through the Lightning. Matter of fact, they provide in the box and the Go Bar a Lightning to USB adapter, so you bypass the camera adapter, which is awesome because it makes it more portable than the old Dragonfly, because it's USB-C. So the other thing is when I was open and closing the iPhone, like if I would be listening to music and go through and listen to stuff and come back, and when I close the screen, it goes, it would make a crackling sound or a popping sound, which was hurting my ears, and I just, at that point, gave up. I let Ricardo know at i5 that I had an issue. He's looking into it. They're very quick at software updates and making things right. He's going to look into the battery issue. They're testing it on iPhone in the next couple days. So maybe by the time this video is out, I'll have an update for you. But for now, the time I spent with it was amazing. But with that glitch with the popping sound when I turn the phone on and off, the screen on and off, And with the battery not working, it's a no-go for me. I can't do it. I wish I could, because this thing's stupid good. It does have some, now, again, if you're on Android, there's no problem. From what I understand, Android phones do not have this problem. Apple OS, or the operating system for Apple, has an issue with current draw from a device being plugged into it. That's what's triggering it not to fire up, because of the current draw. That's why when it's almost full, the battery, the iPhone accepts it. When it's a little bit lower, it won't accept it. So again, it's a compromise with the iPhones. And I think, from talking to everybody else, it doesn't have any issue at all with Android. So that's only with Apple users. So with that being said, guys, this thing, oh my God. I mean, you hold down the volume buttons at the same time. You hold down the volume buttons at the same time, and it goes into a 6 decibel boost mode that sounds like a balanced connection. I mean, I was using single-ended for the test. This does have balanced and single-ended. I actually always thought bass boost, or not bass boost, but volume boost would, boost everything in the frequencies. It doesn't. It just gave it the amp more power. So I listened to it that way with my timeless 7 hertz. It also has the ability to turn on and off the syncing of the volume with the iPhone or the Android, so that when you hit the volume up or down, you have the option to have it not to sync with the phone volume, and it stays independent, and that's kind of cool. The filters on here, there's options, and they really make a big difference. There's some with a slow roll off, and one's bit perfect, and another one up samples to, I think it's 384 instead of 44.1. And every one of them made a difference. And I was just really surprised at how they could fit all that in here, boosting the, volume, changing the filter modes, syncing the volume with the iPhone. There's a bunch of different things in here that this little guy does that when you look at it from the outside, you wouldn't think it does that. And I was pretty amazed. It also, again, has a high gain and low gain for 3.5 and balanced. Wow. So, man, I wanted to buy this. I wanted this to win. This thing was off the charts, audio-wise. But until they figure out the iPhone, software, I'm not going to get it. If you have an Android, I would be all over this, guys. Wow. So this really impressed me, and I'm going to miss it. Okay. The good news. This little guy, the Go Blu. This I underestimated completely. When it first came out, I ignored it because it said Bluetooth. And of course, I've got my Tidal Masters and MQA and all that good stuff, and 2496, and I just shunned this thing because it didn't do that. Then I plugged it in and listened to it, and it sounded terrible. And I thought, this is not at the level where I could walk around this and win with this in life, right, for my music. Then I let it burn in for 24 hours because I know, obviously, doing this as a hobby for many, many years, that never judge a electronic item out of the box, ever. Give it time. So I said, I'm going to give it 24 hours, leave it on completely night and day. I listened to it and it sounded really, really good. So I let it burn in for another 24 hours. And I was like, damn. Now when I A-B'd it against the Dragonfly, the Dragonfly has one thing going for it: piano keys. They're very open, very airy. The timbres are very natural with piano keys. And this has a very open sound stage, okay? Very open and airy and light and quick. But I played, oh man, what is that album? I want to go get it for you guys. So, it's Finger Painting. The album's called Finger Painting. And it's a tribute to Herbie Hancock. And I played that on Tidal Masters, I believe it is. And oh my God. This thing in Bluetooth mode sounded amazing. It smoked my little favorite Cobalt here. The horns, man, the reedy, like you could just, the weight, the motion, the power, It sounded so live, and I was like, what? I've got this hardwired in doing MQA, and I take it out and put this in Bluetooth in this beat, in this beat, the Dragonfly. Okay, more weight, more bass, more thickness and darkness and everything, more three-dimensional, less airy, and the highs aren't as extended as on the Dragonfly, but everything is more composed and in its space. And there's a song on the Sonus Faber website where he gets in the Pagani wire and sits in the Pagani and turns on the audio system, because Sonus Faber did the audio in that car. And the woman's on stage and she's playing the violins and they all come in. I actually found the album that was on. And when I play it on the Dragonfly, everything's thin and two-dimensional. When you play it on this, everything is just saturated and almost tube-like, right? There's a dark, kind of a dark, rich, euphoric, tube-like sound to it that just makes you just go, oh, and give, that feeling when your significant other walks to the door from the end of the day and you missed them and you see them and they come in and you just get that feeling of like that energy hit of like love or like goodness, and you just feel like loved. That's how this makes you feel. You emotionally connect with the music, and for that weight to be coming out of a Bluetooth AAC really shocked me. So I got curious. I tried the XBass, and honestly, for my timeless, it's too much. The XSpace actually came in handy on a few songs that were more closed in and older jazz recordings, but 99% of the time, not 95% of the time, I listen without any kind of enhancements, okay? And this thing is so gorgeous and so well made, and look at that watch dial, and this thing is beautiful. There's nothing to it. So what I did is I took out the adapter. I don't have it out right now, but I took out the adapter and used the camera adapter and plugged this in hardwired, USB-A to USB-C. It actually comes in the box with the Go Blu. And I ran it that way where I could get 2496, because I don't know if you guys know, but you can hardwire this into an Apple just like you can the Dragonfly or the Go Bar. Just because it has Bluetooth, you don't have to use it that way. You can do 2496 through the hardwire. And I did, and it really opened the timeless up. My timeless 7 hertz had opened them up. But the weight that I don't know, I can't explain it. Okay, I can't explain it. Here's an analogy. Go to the Cheesecake Factory and order cheesecake. Y'all know what happens, right? You put your fork in it and it goes right through it. It's like air, okay? Then you get a New York style cheesecake from an Italian restaurant and you can barely cut through it. That right? This is that Italian cheesecake. It's rich, it's thick, it's fleshed out, it's just like you're in a studio and the music's live right there. And this is kind of like open and airy, like you're at a coffee shop listening to music. It's a completely different presentation. It's not even the same. So what I did is my concierge down in my buildings, he actually has a Dragonfly Cobalt with an iPhone and this adapter because he watches my channel and he bought them based on my suggestion. He's been using it for a year. I brought this down and said, be honest, dude, what do you hear? And he heard this, he goes, oh my God. Like, I'm gonna buy one of these ASAP. He goes, where can I get the case? Where can I get all the stuff? And so he's gonna buy one. He was blown away. So this compared to the Go Bar, this is 1 scoop of ice cream, this is 2. This is 1 scoop of mashed potatoes, this is 2 scoops of mashed potatoes. The sound signature of these are very, very similar. This just heaps it on more. And who knows, maybe if they get that software issue fixed out with the iPhones with the battery, then I may buy one too, because it's ridiculous. But to be honest with you, getting rid of this thing, having this in my pocket, not connected to my phone when I'm out walking or grocery shopping, and here is the end all be all. I bought this, guys. I bought this. I called him and said, you're not getting it back. I'm buying it. And the case too. And I'll show you the case in a minute. But what really sold me on this was the hands-free phone mic in here. Something I could never do with the Dragonfly. So I tested this. I had my headphones in listening to music. My son called me. I clicked it on. We were talking and I said, hey, how do I sound? He goes, you sound okay. I go, do I sound any different at all? He goes, I don't know. You have a little bit more like ambiance in the room. But you don't have me on hands-free, do you, on your speakerphone? I said, no. He goes, no, it doesn't sound like your speakerphone, but it sounds like there's more presence. But what happened is I had all my windows open, right? So the glass was showing. I was laying on my couch talking there in the living room, and my son could pick up the light echo from the room from my glass. So when I shut the blinds and sat down, he goes, oh my gosh, that's so much better. So, but I said, but it doesn't sound like a hands-free. He goes, no, the hands-free doesn't sound as good. This sounds better. It sounds like you're still on an iPhone talking to me. It just, I noticed there's a little bit more air in your voice. So this has a really good mic for talking on the phone. So now when I'm at the park, someone calls, instead of taking the headphones out, taking unplugging it from my iPhone, taking this into two pieces so it fits in my pocket, and then picking up the phone to go like this and talk. Now I just go, hello, and I hold it like this, and it weighs nothing, and I can leave my headphones in and talk hands-free, and then hang it up, and it reconnects to the Bluetooth, and the music starts playing again. Wow. So now I'm a believer. Again, I really think, guys, when I first saw the reviews of this online at the beginning of the year, guys were knocking it, and I really think the reviewers were just opening it up, playing it for a couple hours, maybe 5-6 hours during the day, and then did their review, and did not give this thing 2 full days of 24/7 burn-in. It totally changes the sound characteristics. It was bright and brittle when I first started listening to it, like I thought Bluetooth would sound like. And I was stunned after 2 days of burning this in. It's a different animal. Okay, so that is, oh, I'm sorry guys, woo, this little guy. So this is the case because so many people complain that this didn't have the ability to clip on your pants or shirt or anything like that, especially if you're making a call and you don't want to hold it, you just want to clip it on somewhere, like on your collar or a pocket. So they made this, it's leather, I believe it's leather, it's really nice. And it just slips right in there. And the cool thing about it is that it is, you are able, they have a slot cut out. Let me push it down in here. I want to show you guys how it actually looks sealed in here. Okay. So they have a cutout for the volume rotary dial here, and you can feel the on-off button, and you can feel the button here to change the XBass and Xspace if you need it, and to sync your Bluetooth, actually sync your Bluetooth on this side. And so is XBass. Yeah, anyway, gosh, there's too many freaking things I'm going through. But either way, you got a power button on one side, you got your Bluetooth sync, and also your filters on the other side. You can fill those through here, they press. So it's not like you have to take this out every time you want to do something. And the bottom's open so you can plug in your charger. Or again, if you want to run it as an inline, just plug your lightning adapter in if you got an iPhone, plug it into the USB and then your headphones, and then you've got your hardwired DAC and it's protected. And if it falls, it's very padded. So this is almost a must when you get this thing. This is $199. I've seen it for $179, the Go Blu, about $169, $179. This is $35 for the case. This is what I bought. This is going to go as a backup for now in my drawer. In case this ever has an issue, I can just pull this out and still use it. And this has been a godsend for me for 2 years. I love this thing. It's been so much joy to have. It still is a joy to have. It's a completely different presentation. When you put this in, don't get me wrong, it does not sound like a bad DAC ever. It does not sound bad. But when you compare it to what's new 3 years later in the industry, it makes this sound a slight bit artificial, hi-fi-ish, not weighty, not separated, not cohesive, compared to something like this. This is $169, $179, $199 is the MSRP. You kidding me? For Bluetooth, for going hands-free phone calls, I spent 10 hours with the battery and it was still playing and didn't die. It was just on yellow. It wasn't even on the red yet. I think it goes green, yellow, red. It was on the yellow after 10 hours. So you don't have to worry about a plane flight, having it die or anything like that. I have it fully charged up in less than, it's probably like 30 something minutes, and it's another 10 hours. Wow. So that's it, guys. If you have any questions, hit me up on the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, I just tell it how it is. I wing it. I don't have scripts. I don't have fancy lighting. I don't have camera angles. I set this up. I talk about what I want from my system, what I want for my computer, what I want for my headphones and mobile audio. And if it passes my scrutiny, I share it with you guys. If it doesn't pass the scrutiny, I share it with you guys. I'm really hoping that the Go Bar does get a software update, because guys, this is a heavy hitter, and worth every penny once they get it sorted out for the iPhone, because this is 2 heapings of what this is. But this in itself is freaking amazing. Guys, huge update. Had to put this in before the video ended. So the Go Blu app, Gaia app, you can download from the App Store. It's free, and it does wireless or the software update, checks for software updates, and imports it into the Bluetooth. It's incredible. But I was reading about that and the app, and I came across in the forum where they talk about adding 2 new digital filters to the GoPro. And of course I flipped out excited, because that's one thing that was missing from this, that the Go Bar had, was those digital filters, you know, the slow roll off and the bit perfect and the upsampling and all that. So I followed the directions. It says to tap the power button 3 times fast, and at the top you'll see a light that turns red or green. You just hit the opposite button on the other side to toggle between which filter sounds better, and then tap the power button 3 times again to lock it in. And the first filter was nice. It was kind of lush sounding, and I could tell though that it was still like a digital synthesized, or you know, something that just wasn't quite organic and natural. And then I clicked to the other filter, which turned green, and bam! I mean, I had tears in my eyes as I was listening to my music. Now, those piano keys that I talked about on the Dragonfly Cobalt that sounded so good, they're there in the Go Blu. Everything was just still rich and thick and you know, full, like I told you I liked. But now the air and the lightness and the decay of the keys in the room, you know, as the piano hit, the timbres, everything is aligned now and sounds like my big rig over there. So I cannot believe it. That was the one thing that was missing from the Go Blu, were those digital filters. They added 2 of them. Who knows? Maybe they'll add more like they did on the Go Bar. But for now, that makes this the champion. This sounds about, you know, so close to the Go Bar now with these digital filters. I don't even miss the Go Bar. The Go Bar is more powerful if you're going to run like planar magnetics and stuff. But the power out of this little Go Blu can power Sennheiser HD 600s and 650s and stuff. So it's also good for you know, not just IEMs. All right, but I really had to put this in there because that changes the whole game now, because that was the one thing that was kind of lacking on this, that the Cobalt had, were those piano keys and that decay, and this has it now with the filter. So this is now 1000% recommended. Also, the hardwire feature still really isn't that good with iPhone connecting it. I got a special cable that connected it, but I could hear once in a while a little tick come through the audio. So I wouldn't recommend for iPhone users hardwiring this, but you don't need to now, because the Bluetooth section sounds as good as the hardwired now with this new filter update, adding that filter. So hey, win-win. All right, back to the video. All right, so with that, guys, we will see you next month, and I'm going to do the traditional walk here, because if I don't, people comment on it. So let's look out the window today and see what's going on in Seattle. Love sharing this view with you guys. We got sun. No more rain today. Cleared up. Okay, and with that, guys, we'll catch you on the next